Good afternoon, everyone. Today I want to talk a little bit about this UGreen Bluetooth audio transmitter receiver. I've played with a number of these things over the years, and this one was chosen because it was inexpensive and fit what I wanted to do. And this comes in sort of in the wake of my getting this Prunus J618 AM/FM radio. This is pretty decent. It's also got a trans flash card slot. And with this thing, the real trick is that it's got a Bluetooth transmitter as well as a Bluetooth receiver. And so what that means is you can stick this in a convenient spot and then use it to send your audio to your Bluetooth earphones. So that can work really well in some locations. It's one of those things that you either have a need for or you don't. And most people would probably do better taking any other pocket radio and just plugging some wired earphones into them. This is a little bit disappointing as the wired earphone out is a little disappointing on it. I don't know why. But the speaker sound and the Bluetooth sound is excellent. And it works fine. It's a little hard to get it paired, but once you got it paired, it works great. Any of these devices that don't have a lot of buttons and menus are always a little hard to pair with a set of Bluetooth earphones. But you can look at my discussion of this radio. And I'll talk about this radio again because its medium wave performance is really fairly impressive. Okay, but let's put that aside. Say you have a different radio that you would like to use. We'll just take this one because it's my usual favorite portable radio, which is the Tecsun PL-330 portable small radio. Most of the radios I own are portables. And you would like to send the sound from this to your Bluetooth headphones for exactly the same reason. Well, you could spend $20. You could spend $40 and get one of those. Or you could spend, $20 with tax and get a Bluetooth transmitter of one sort or another. And there are tons of them. I bought this one because it was inexpensive. These are sold mostly for use on planes, because obviously if you want to use the plane's sound system, that doesn't work with your Bluetooth stuff, unless you happen to remember to bring a Bluetooth cable. It certainly doesn't work with the earbud style. So these then become a good solution for that. Now that means that they aren't really high quality. They aren't audiophile devices by any stretch of the imagination, and that's fine, right? Where, this will receive AAC. Oh, look, I left it on. I'll shut it off. It will receive AAC, but it transmits in SBC, which is like the default codec used by most Bluetooth devices. Think, built-in car audio. I'm sure that's what the Prunus uses as well. It is at modern USB 5 and up bandwidths totally adequate for listening to medium wave radio and probably for FM radio too. Sound quality's fine, but sound quality's fine in that context, right? When we're talking about this sort of stuff. So I bought this one because it was inexpensive. I thought I shut it off, but apparently not. Here we go. Okay, so you've got a transmit receive switch on the side. You've got a single button with the usual cheap Bluetooth sort of single button control system, and that's it. It's got an attached 1/8" jack or 1/8" plug with a flexible connection. With a little built-in battery and a USB-C port. I think there's actually a mic in it for, I don't know, maybe I can't remember whether this has a mic or not. But anyway, the primary purpose of this is, as I said, you're mostly going to buy this to use as a transmitter. There are many better options to use as a receiver if you want an actual Bluetooth receiver headphone amp, starting at about $50 from companies like FiO and whatnot, that will give you a proper headphone amp with a Bluetooth receiver in it, right? So that's not what this is. This is to be plugged into something like the earphone output on your PL-330, and you then adjust the volume by using the volume control here. This doesn't have, this doesn't have a gain control. So there are a few things you want to think about when you're looking at a device like this. And this is really what the purpose of it. This one is fine. I wouldn't really recommend or not recommend it. It's like they're all kind of the same. This one has a couple of advantages. One is that it sits a little farther out from what you plug it into, although with other devices you can use a cable to put it farther away. And that's because with a Bluetooth transmitter in here, there are going to be some harmonics in the radio frequencies that could interfere with the radio. I don't think I can hear it on shortwave with the PL-330. I might be able to hear some interference on medium wave. It's pretty marginal. This is pretty good as these things go. Again, when the radio is built around it, assuming it's well engineered, that shouldn't be a problem, and I don't detect any Bluetooth noise on the Prunus. So another good thing about it. So it's okay. Again, an extension cable to get it farther away from the radio would probably solve that problem. You're putting digital electronics next to an analog radio receiver, and that's always going to be something of a situation potentially. But this one is mostly all right, and I don't really have any complaints. Again, the use case is probably not careful going through the bandwidth, DXing really. The use case is probably listening to sports while you're in the kitchen and not wanting to have a cable in the way, right? So for that purpose, it's totally fine. And on FM, obviously, it's no problem. And I didn't catch any problems on using the built-in antenna on shortwave, although realistically indoors in my house I'd use an external antenna most of the time anyway. So, these little things are a nice idea if you have that sort of scenario. They're very inexpensive. They range from, this is on the cheaper end of these ones for about $20. You can get ones that support more codecs. You can get ones that have displays. That therefore are easier to pair in environments like on a plane. Hint, pair it first before you get on the plane. It'll work much better that way. That sort of thing, right? So you can spend like $50, $50 or $60 for one of these. And we're talking Canadian dollars here, quite easily. But I don't actually think you need to for this purpose. This one's fine. I don't actually think getting a better codec. I mean, we're not talking audiophile audio here. The compression from Bluetooth is really not where your limitation is in most of these scenarios. And if it is, you should be plugging them directly into the PL-330, which isn't terrible, used with headphones. It's a pretty decent sounding FM radio. And yeah. So, adding Bluetooth to your existing radio equipment is useful and easy, and there are a million of these things on the markets from different companies. Have a look through Amazon or AliExpress and figure out which one seems to be getting decent reviews. Buy it from a place that you can return it if you find that you do have an interference problem that bothers you. If you do have an interference problem that bothers you, then I would get one that doesn't have a built-in plug on it, but instead uses a jack and has a cable, and then that allows you to put it, 3-4 feet, meter or so away from your radio, which would probably solve most of the Bluetooth problems. You can experiment with that, like using your phone as a Bluetooth device to broadcast to or to transmit to your earphones while listening to the radio through the speaker. That'll give you some idea of what problems you might have. So, I think this is a pretty interesting product. If you already own a radio you like, I'm not sure I'd buy one. I might buy one of these things instead. But I couldn't keep myself from buying this when I saw it. And as I said, it's a pretty solid medium wave performer, and I will do a video on that in the upcoming weeks. Thanks for watching.